What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another weekly recap here at the Inner Wealth channel. And we're going to be going over, of course, you guys know, my favorite, Dow Jones. And we'll dive a little bit into NASDAQ. We'll go ahead and start with the DXY and move over to the indices. Okay. As you guys know, I've been super bullish out of this area of accumulation here, previous area of support. Here on a monthly perspective, I've been aiming for 105. I believe the high of this is 105,630. I've been patiently waiting for that. Here on a weekly perspective, previous weekly high and that high has been my target. If you've been following with us, which I highly encourage you guys, if you haven't, I highly encourage you do. I do about 2 calls a week. It's not a great deal of calls that we do here at the Inner Wealth channel. I feel like it's very subtle and it's at a pretty nice pace to the point where you guys can review, apply, and not get overwhelmed by so much content. Okay, so follow along with us. We'll be reviewing this all 2023. I'll be with you guys all 2023, probably all 2024, and we'll do these weekly sessions. We'll continue to grow together, so I highly encourage you guys follow up with me here, and we'll keep looking at I'll myself guide you to increasing your levels of accuracy within these markets. Okay, so if you guys don't know already, the US dollar index is my main asset that I review. Now, the dollar index is not my main asset that I trade. Matter of fact, I do not trade it at all. I simply utilize the DXY as a guide to showing me correlations between the dollar and my indices, being Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and SPX 500. Those would be the 4 assets that you guys will get really, really familiar with here at the Inner Wealth channel throughout all 2023. Okay, so as we dive into another week, of course, last week ended up closing pretty bearish. Okay, I really like how low we ended up closing previous week. So targeting that current weekly right there was pretty good idea to me. I'm still looking at this whole area here. Yeah, I'm still looking at this whole accumulation here on this daily perspective. We got 2 anchor points right there, and then these guys over here. So you guys can see that we trade down into it, and then we come back, use that area as newfound support, along with some liquidity support along that. So we got insufficient support, right? And we have liquidity support. Okay. So when we came down, but me personally, I was anticipating some accumulation below the lows, something to indicate that we were going to move lower. I was looking for this low right here to get taken out, being that it was 50% and below of our whole range. But the 4-hour was bullish and remained this bullish price action for a good majority of the week. Now, Monday wasn't the most eventful because of being a bank holiday, so we're just going to skip over that. And at this point, what my thought process is that we're going to continue to see higher price action from below this low. And as you guys can see, we just tap. So the low of Monday is, and you guys can see the open, high, low, close here on the top right on TradingView. The low of this candle that I'm hovering over is at 103,760. The low here on Tuesday's low, is 103,760. So exactly the same low, right? You guys can see we hit that level of support. We didn't sweep it or anything, we just created more support down there, right? And we continue heading for more resistance. What's a level of resistance here? Of course, that previous daily high. Previous daily high was 104.089. This candle's high comes in at 104.089. You guys see like that algorithm here? That's no coincidence. The first candle of Tuesday rates the entirety of the previous day. In the first 4 hours after news, the first 4 hours raids the entirety range of the previous day. Wow, that's beautiful right there. Okay. As price action develops closer to our open, you guys can see that London comes to mitigate out of this insufficiency here. Okay, that insufficiency there looks pretty good. That insufficiency there, you want to see some support out of that area back into this insufficiency up here. And I wouldn't be surprised if price action just kind of like ranges within here. So as we move lower, we get the opening and then a nice push up higher, again respecting that range there overall as we anticipated, right? And first hour of the day gets a nice push up. Even though more liquidity gets collected up there, that's where we're going to keep our attention. We're going to take off all this noise right here. Keep in mind that previous daily high that got taken out, that whole range. We got our liquidity noted to the downside. We got levels of support to the downside here. I would have this entire push down that could essentially take us to this upside target. So coming into Wednesday, price action, I personally wasn't very active. I didn't catch anything throughout the beginning of the week. My luck was more at the end of the week, and I'll show you guys a little bit more of the trades that I was participated on. After we take out, we continue to move from at least 50% of this range right here. We come down to a minimum of 50%, okay? And then we just continue pushing to the upside. Price has been mitigated, right? And we now have managed to create and pass this resistance level, close above. Didn't really show much of a rejection. We come down, we sweep one more low right here. That really shows me that we were going to take out, everybody from London's open. Everybody from London got taken out, New York open. Okay. And at this point, what you use with this data, for example, if I'm looking for price action to create higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay. If I'm anticipating higher price action towards this high, okay, then the correlating asset like Dow Jones or Nasdaq is going to be creating some down push, right? Some new lows. Okay, so now let's go over to Dow Jones and Nasdaq when the bullishness started really coming in on Wednesday. Okay, and you guys can see liquidity that was created to the upside, and let's let this roll out till we hit that level over there. Okay, so we hit that level, that high on the DXY on Thursday at London. Okay, London open on Thursday. So let's go through Dow Jones. Dow Jones extremely bearish. Okay, I was looking for some lower price action at the beginning of the week. I'll show you guys my exact target actually directly from my journal. Let me pop it open. Okay, I'll show you guys directly from my journal what my weekly goal was on Dow Jones on the 4th week of February. There it is. Weekly objective should pop up right there. There we go. It was taken February 22nd, so on Monday when I set my weekly objectives. So you guys can see that, or Monday, was it Monday? I don't remember when the 22nd was. Okay. One sec. Let me see. Here is my Monday bias. 33,500. So I know it wasn't directly this low. It was 33,500. One second. Yeah, at the beginning of the week, what I wanted to see is this low getting taken out, probably just a little bit further. No, you know what? It was that low. Yeah. So I wanted to see 33,500. We definitely went way beyond. We got down to 32,500. Give me 1 second. Yeah, because on Monday we ended up raiding those lows. So my weekly objective at the beginning of the week, at the second half of the week, was this one. What you guys see here on Wednesday, I was pretty bearish. By the end on Tuesday, I was pretty bearish after we had achieved my weekly objective, which was around this low right here, this area. I was really looking for price action to dig down and I would get a nice rejection out of this area. So I'll show you guys where I participated, because at the beginning of the week I did get stopped out. So where was it? Yeah, it was right here at the beginning of the week. Yeah. So at the beginning of the week, okay, I had some down price action and I wanted to see some accumulation below these lows here. And once we got the open, I personally will show you guys where I have bought below the previous daily low. And what I learned from this one is that, honestly, you know, in an extremely bearish price action, it's gonna take much more than like the 5 minute or the 15 or the 1 minute to turn price around, and definitely going to be looking for a lot more evidence moving forward. But as you guys can see here, we did dive into this imbalance here. Personally didn't get in till about we touched this order block. The only time that I take an entry on an order block instead of the imbalance is when the order block is nice and open at that. And you guys can see we took out that previous low, took out that previous high right there. That's your breaker block, your breaker order block. Pretty nice breaker. Honestly, we're gonna call that. Okay, that's a pretty badass breaker right there. So this is how I personally took it. Okay, and I was definitely aiming for a lot higher. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was aiming for these equal highs over here. But of course, the upside liquidity is something that that made me hesitant about everything, was the fact that we had taken all this liquidity on the upside. Okay, and so it was something more like I was looking for some really immediate, and price action comes up, rejects against my area, and right here after we dip down the second time, okay, you guys can see we got a nice rejection and we get slammed down. So these fast moves, I personally was not able to go break even though I was seeing some levels of distribution. I wasn't able to go break even, but I think price action was very beautifully delivered. All it took was for price action to take out the initial highs of the day, distribute with insufficiency, with a conviction to the downside, we retest entry, insufficiency to the downside, retest entry, okay, all those insufficiencies right there. Then a nice push down, push up, more imbalance here. Notice how price comes right up to it, closes the entirety of it, continues moving to the downside. We were extremely bearish. This is why I was showing you guys at the beginning of the call DXY, because DXY was extremely bullish, and I realized that I was like, you know, I was looking for DXY longs, and I tried to long Dow. Not always will they have such like a strong correlation. Sometimes the best thing to realize is that both Dow Jones can be in a down day and DXY can be in a down day, okay? And because they're opposing assets, they can both be bearish, and as the DXY is creating its lower high, Dow Jones could be creating its lower low, right? And so not necessarily just because DXY is bearish does that make, you know, Dow Jones bullish. Sometimes the very expansion to a new lower low on the DXY can be the slightest retracement on Dow Jones. And likewise, the really fat expansion to the downside on Dow Jones can be the slightest retracement on DXY. All the correlation is that they're moving in opposing directions. They do not have opposing analytics. That's a very common mistake when it comes to these correlations. Now just notice, I want you guys to backtest this information that I'm showing you guys. I want you guys to learn how to read this price action in this manner, because it is crucial for you to be able to avoid being, you know, it is crucial for you to not avoid being in the wrong side of the market. Stop looking at the problem, because honestly focusing on the problem is the main issue. But what we should be focusing on is being more trend oriented, right? Pro trend. And so if we have a tremendous sell-off, it's not about avoiding being on the opposite side of it, but being on the correct end of the market, being on the correct end of price. And so taking advantage of these tremendous moves is really what's gonna differentiate the real big traders from the retail traders, right? So as you guys can see here, okay, Tuesday we had a really long run to the downside, rip right through everything, okay, that whole day. And then we come below this low on where was it, on Wednesday. This low was my new objective on Wednesday. Okay, so having that low to the downside, okay, as an objective, what you have to look at is your whole range. Okay, cool, like this is where we're at in price action before the 9 a.m. open. Okay, you have swept previous daily low, Okay, we're getting some slight accumulation out of that previous daily low. Now what's to the upside? Asian high, cool. We have Asian high. We have this imbalance there that we're playing in. Okay, we have this unmitigated candle. Right. Yeah, we have this imbalance there now. Let's redefine that. We have that imbalance there on the 15 minute. Okay, 1 hour has created an impulsive move to the upside. That has created some insufficiencies. We have swept and taken out Asian liquidity, meaning we do have permission to move lower if the US dollar has the conviction to continue to make higher highs or move higher, which, as you guys have seen, we did. We're showing more and more accumulations, even though we were showing a clear accumulation on Dow Jones. Okay, so here we are. Let's get closer to the open. Here's the 9:15. Here's 9:30 right there. Okay, you guys see that impulsive move to the upside. Okay, at this point, at this point, I do believe that we're looking to go long on Dow Jones. This is where I was looking to go long into this imbalance, deeper into this imbalance. And price action came down pretty hard. I remember I was looking for an entry here. I even sent it out on Twitter. Okay, and I don't lose faith in these imbalances. Why? One, look, swept previous daily low created a displacement in price. Okay, it may not have given us that area of support right now, right? But we did take out this previous low here. Okay, we did take out the low one more time. All right, and shown a significant accumulation. The accumulation creates an imbalance. What does that imbalance come down to? Our 50-minute original imbalance, where we have found now support. That original 50-minute imbalance, stop loss below this imbalance here. We have already taken down the downside liquidity. All we have left is the upside liquidity. This actually was something that we did participate on Abundant Capital as a team. And you guys can see we made it to that insufficiency there on the upside. Okay, and at this point you don't have to participate in the market anymore. You can go ahead and enjoy your day, do whatever you please. But notice how price action, all I want you guys to know is the beautiful price action delivery, whether you participated in it or not. Okay, after that nice area, we get some slight distribution here on the 5-minute, push lower, and I believe FOMC is just in a few minutes. FOMC meeting in minutes happens at 2 p.m. Eastern time, so we're just going to fast forward there. The distribution took place. Right there. Imbalanced price action. This whole area. And some more liquidity to the downside. There's your FOMC, rejections, and just dumps out of those areas. Notice how we came back to that same 50-minute imbalance. Same 50-minute imbalance. Played out once, twice. Okay? Same 50-minute imbalance played out and got utilized multiple times before it got its entry. Okay, just because the price action has been trading to doesn't make that price balanced, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that price is balanced. It's just been repriced but not rebalanced. I think that's a very strong stereotype. Let's see, move that. Stereotype? I don't even know why I said that. It's a very common mistake. Yeah, anyways, guys, price action delivery comes down lower. Remember, we have our 3300 whole level that we pierced right through. Okay, so here we are. We're now trading below those lows. Okay, on Thursday, or coming towards Thursday. Here's the end of the day, right? And now what do we have? We still have that imbalance there. Okay, but now what's in that imbalance? We have what we call now a previous daily high. Okay, a previous daily high. We are coming off a very strong level of support. We're gonna mark out this level of support as well, though, right there. Okay, and you guys can see here, once we hit a new level of support, I want to see what the DXY is doing at this point. So let's go ahead and get out of replay mode and move over to the DXY and see what the DXY is doing. And so remember, when we were looking at the DXY on Wednesday, we were looking to pierce that high. So Thursday came through and pierced that high during London. All we did here was take out some Asian liquidity. Okay, and it wasn't till, what is that, 8:30 a.m. Cool, 8:30 a.m. Let's go to the XY over here. Pierce that high right there at 3, or during London, right? 6 a.m. And at 6 a.m. we were barely over here. And then at 8:30, the XY at 8:30 had made a low, the lowest point. A nice pullback. Check that out. A nice pullback from 8:15 to 8:30. From 8:15 to 8:30, we have 2 down close candles. We didn't make that strong of a pullback. All we did was take out some immediate liquidity. That's it. Made some immediate liquidity, created a imbalance here to the downside and another one to the upside. I'm going to mark out the bearish one. Okay, we noted our previous daily high as our liquidity. We have opening price that swept liquidity until the downside, an imbalance here on the upside. Stop loss below the low, so that previous daily high. We held that all the way to that high with nice confidence. As the DXY, as Dow Jones pushed up from 840 all the way to 950. Notice what the DXY did. Oh. The DXY from that window to 950, all it did was push down slightly. Didn't create a new low, didn't do anything. We just created a higher low to a new higher high And that was a nice strong move for Dow Jones. That was enough for Dow Jones to push to the upside. So even though DXY we were bullish, we were able to still catch the longs from the slight bearish move that the DXY got for that moment, right? And then if we would align ourselves completely with the market for the whole day, then you would have been able to identify after the sweep of liquidity, very identical to what we've done already. Sweep of liquidity, imbalance, notice that imbalance down there. You can use either one. Me personally, I would use the high. I don't like too big of stop losses, so the opening of the imbalance to about slightly above the closure right there of that imbalance there, of course, to that previous daily low or to that previous area of support. You really can pick yourself which one feels more accurate, but always have a target, because you never know when price action can return right back to your entry and then you just held all that for no reason. It's like, yeah, balls of steals for what? In day trading, you know, stick to a strategy. If you're going to be a scalper, be a scalper and be the best scalper. If you're going to be a swing trader, cool, be a swing trader, but stick to it. You don't switch back and forth and try to mix the two, because honestly, like, it doesn't mix. You don't trade the same way all the time. I'm a day trader. I am in and out of the market within that same day. I do not hold trades over the long period of time. That's my current style right now. That's what I'm going to be sticking with. But yeah, anyways, Dow Jones. All right, we end up shorting off. Then Thursday comes and we end up shorting. Friday comes and we end up shorting off pretty hard. Okay, and this morning we'll come into, fast forward over to the open. We were already pretty low, but as I mentioned, I wanted that low over here taking on Dow Jones. So because I wanted to see that low overall on Wednesday get taken out, as I mentioned on that picture, where is it? Right there. Wanted to see that low get taken out. I was just looking at price action to come down that way on Dow Jones, and I noticed that Friday we were coming on to the new session and we were pretty much chilling right above that price. So I'll show you guys what I mean. We have this previous area of distribution, this previous low right here. So no, we would be looking for distribution out of that imbalance, of course. But mainly what we played this morning as a team was seeing this lower low, lower high, lower low, more lows. And I was mentioning, out of this imbalance, I'd like to see some shorts. Okay, inside that imbalance, there's a nice 2-minute candle there. Right, so it's just kind of giving me more of a reason to look for distribution up in there. And once we got the open, which was this nice accumulation to the upside, okay, you get this spike to the upside here. You can go into the lower time frames. You can jump in at that one if it makes sense. It really matters not. The way that I jumped into this trade was this way. It was in the 15-second. It was right here, right when it comes back, either the 15-second or the 30-second, I don't recall. There it is. This is where I jumped into this trade. It's inside that imbalance. Stop loss above that high, and just aiming for that low. Yeah. Took a second once we got to the low, but overall, I knew that I was pretty confident that we were just gonna dump a lot lower. Um, Whenever you see price action kind of reversing really close to your area, just wait for the imbalance. You can move your stop loss above the imbalance if you want. I would have pulled my stop loss right above this high right here. Maybe it would have gone stopped out, but for me personally, this imbalance here is resistance, right? Resistance for price. There goes the equal lows. Price action provided with multiple opportunities to come into the market. Once we came into that imbalance, you have this imbalance here as well. To add a little bit more to your order, a little bit more volume. Boom, right there. Nice, almost 1 to 3. My re-entries, I don't really mind that there are 1 to 2. I don't mind the 1 to 2 on my re-entries. I wouldn't want a 1 to 2 setup overall, but I wanted 2 re-entries, 1 to 1 re-entries. I don't mind them because my re-entries are to just like in and out, be super, just pay myself type of thing. Anyways, guys, that's really all I wanted to review with you guys. Just, you know, my favorite asset is Dow Jones because the price delivery is so clean. I did catch the wrong side of the move twice this week. I was able to participate on 2 good trades, was on the wrong side on 2 trades. We had an overall of 4 trades this week, 4 setups that I reviewed with you guys. If you guys have any questions about this stuff, please don't hesitate to hit me up. Currently, as of 2023, I will be answering, you know, all my messages. I do private mentorships, guys. I that is something I do one-on-one coachings and all that. I'm not here to promote any of that stuff though. That is just the resources that you guys will have accessible to you throughout this mentorship. Again, this mentorship is going to be going on for sure for throughout all 2023. At the end of 2023, we'll discuss whether we'll continue, but it will all depend on how much response and how well the community builds, and how well I guide you as a coach to better results and a higher level of accuracy. So with that, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Much love. Catch you guys next week. We'll continue to add on. And guys, if you could please just share this video with one person that it may help. I want to be able to show more individuals this skill set and be able to bring more abundance into people's lives, not just through trading, but through energy and through blessings. And with that, guys, take care. Peace.